Hello real-time VFX people. I kind of promised a video for the smiley thingy flamey McFlame. So here it is. These are the only emitters that are active at the moment. One is the flame. And I already showed the shader of that in the thread. Let me go over it a little bit more. Not that complicated. It's mostly a lot of noises just to animate the flames and another UV channel, and I'm using a gradient to mask out a little bit of the flames at the bottom and the offset so that the bottom is nice and clean. And additionally I'm using a radial gradient to just mask out the edges a little bit so that the effect there is a little bit less visible. Additionally I have this going on for a little bit of variation in the flames. And obviously that's all tied to a world position offset. The effects is mostly controlled by a Fresnel, which gives it a nice edgy look. And there's an additional noise texture here and there, and together it works quite nice for the colors. It's just a little bit, but once you apply and multiply in the Fresnel, you'll get this. Now this is just a material function that basically has some material collection parameters and some other stuff. It's nothing important, and it says a use shift desaturation just to play around with it. So in case I have a global parameter or I want to change it in an instance, I can easily change the color, the hue, that kind of stuff. I have the dynamic node here, which is controlled by that material function, so I can easily change the colors. Sadly, the light does not go along with that, but that's for something different. I normally don't use lights in Cascade because they're quite expensive and a little bit outdated. So I just have it here because of the next mesh I'm going to show you, and that's the wood. The wood is just basically a very simple cylinder mesh that I pro-optimize so that there's a lot of triangles, that kind of thing. And I'm using that same sphere mask to basically control a lot of lerps to add some glowy effect at the center. Let me actually lerp that. But at the center there's a bit of like this heat going off, you know, what you see in old charcoal and that kind of stuff. So the end result with that is this. It's not that super duper, but it works because the fire is mostly covering it. And that result is this. I do have a little bit of Fresnel going on as well, but that's just to highlight the polygonal effect. And again, the material function controlling the desaturation, U shift, that kind of thing. Alright. So let me close those. And let's go to the face. The face is a separate mesh. Where is the face? Oh wait, I need to refresh and find the face. There we go. I could make it camera aligned, but meh. So yeah, or like I told in the thread, the mesh is vertex animated. This is just the regular mesh. It's a bit high in the poly count for the whole poly thing, but since it's mostly for the RealTimeVFX challenge thing, it should be fine. I will probably add it to the package, but you know, let me show you the wireframe. I mean, it's a bit high, but that's because I'm using blends and morphs and vertex offsets to animate it. So let's go back to the face in the shader. I need to clean it up a little bit. So this is the face. I'm gonna preview it. There we go. And as you can see, it's wobbling a little bit, and that's because I'm using a normal map to add to the texture UV. So there's a little bit of weird variation going on. I'm not sure you can really see it. It's very minute, very little. You can see it in here. It's minimal, but that's more than enough to give that face a little bit of that heat effect. And that really adds something. I also masked out the mouth, so there's a little bit of effect going inside the mouth, just a little bit. Can't really see it in here, but it's just enough to add some feeling to it that there's a little bit of heat in the background, you know. And eventually that's added to the face. And along with that, there's this vertex animation texture that I used to animate the face. You can see it, it's smiling, it's happy, it's angry. And that's basically it, actually. Again, I will add some U-shift and desaturation node. I haven't done it yet, but. And obviously when applied, you have this. It's, as you can see from this angle, it's quite far away from the head. Could probably move the mouth a little bit closer and rotate it maybe a little bit in max so that it's a bit more aligned, but that means baking it out again and I don't feel like it. I mean, this is fine. And if I make it camera aligned, then it should probably be totally fine. Okay, the next, that's just some low poly emitter. I could use just a simple triangle or whatever, but I decided to bake out a flipbook. And this is just a flipbook. It just rotates the triangle a little bit, gives it a little bit of variation. And as you can see, it helps with rotation, especially with sprites. I have a mesh version as well, but in this case it works fine. The rotation, in my humble opinion, really adds something. Small advice, by the way, on mobiles, BFC 4 vertices works, but BFC 8 vertices, especially on Switch, break stuff. So if you're using Switch and you think what's going wrong, then set this to 4 vertices and it works again. Not sure when it's going to be fixed, if it's ever going to be fixed, because Niagara is coming, of course. And additionally, we have this, just some additional sparks going out. And that's all. Now, Derpy McDurp face version, that's just basically the face, but with a bigger size, like 1.5 if I'm correct. There we go. And instantly has a totally different feel about it. He kind of looks angrier. Oh well, now it looks happier. But yeah, I mean, no. In theory, I can make it quite a little bit bigger. But yeah, you can also make it flatter. Now it looks a bit more derpy. And a little bit more like the flame in Howl's Moving Castle. So that's kind of fun. I can probably maybe like open 5. Oh, no, that doesn't work. But 9. Maybe that works without the flames going on. Yeah, this is kind of cute too as well. I should probably just get a GIF going for that. There we go. Oh, Unreal, come on. I should stop probably recording now, but okay, be happy. Yeah, he's happy. And get angry, become angry. Yeah, good boy. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. Have a nice day, I guess. I'm gonna walk the dogs. Take care.